So good morning. I am at work in my restaurant. I'm in the kitchen, so I should make sure I have a hat on. I'm sorry. But I made a couple posts this morning, and I was kind of questioning myself whether I should do a Facebook Live today. But I've had three sources of inspiration today that tell me I need to share with you guys real quick. And I'm going to be very fast because I have a lot of work to do today. But I was on my way to work today, and I had a very extensive creative space. I had this gap in between my internal dialogue, and I was feeling very good. I had this inspiration of a topic I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to share it in just a moment, and it's from my teacher. My teacher's name is Ma Long, and he's a Chinese man, and he has taught me a lot about my martial art, and he's taught me a lot about the universe and myself. So, I was trying to decide if I should share this message, and I walk to work. So I walk about 3 miles to work, and then I take some time usually to contemplate, and I want to contemplate with you guys and share my contemplation. So as I was walking past the old folks home today, and this is the old folks home that I volunteer at, and I do volunteer Tai Chi. So one of the workers there, they recognize me and they wave at me, and they just remind me that what I'm doing there is very helpful. So at the same time, I'm wondering if I should do this Facebook Live, keep in mind. So, the person tells me that the woman on Friday, she fell out of her wheelchair, and she was in a state of pain and distress. Many people were rushing around her, and they were panicking a little bit because this is a much older woman. And she said in that moment of distress, she heard my voice. And she said she heard me saying, just breathe, because in Tai Chi, this is something we talk about, just breathe, just breathe. So when she was laying on the ground and people were rushing all around her trying to help her, she told me that my voice was in her head, and that she was hearing me say, just breathe, just relax. And she said that she was actually able to imagine the movements that we had been practicing, and she was able to calm herself. The people were able to pick her back up faster. She said the pain in her chest went away. So that was one sign. The second sign on my way to work that I should share this message with you guys today, the delivery person who brings our buns, he sees me because he's pulling into the old folks home to deliver their bread, and I tell him, I'll be there early, you can come on by, make your delivery, but I'll probably be in the lobby doing a Facebook Live. And he's like, oh really? He's like, what do you mean, why would you be doing a Facebook Live? And I said, well, sometimes I get this inspiration, and I found this really interesting space that I can share my mind, and the people don't seem to judge me. I know some people probably do, but just to know that there's a community that I can share my mind with, it means a lot to me. And he's like, well, I would love to be able to hear you talk more, because we talk a lot when he comes in and he makes deliveries. And if he's having a hard day, I share my energy and my chi, and, I make him, feel as good about his day as possible. So he's like, whoa, tag me in that video, I'll send you a Facebook friend request. And then as I come in, I find this message. Can you see it? It says, everything is beautiful, have a wonderful morning, I love you. And there's little hearts and stuff like that. So, that's the third sign coming in today that I should share this message with you guys. So, just real quick, I'll share the message. So this is a message that I have gotten from my spiritual teacher, and a shaman also, who has helped me in my journey. Facebook tips, make sure you keep the camera upright. I walk to work, so let me get just a quick drink. But when my teacher takes me outside, so when we're at work, if he takes me outside and he wants to talk to me, he'll take me outside and he'll begin his sentence with, Ernest, long time I've really wanted to tell you this. Good morning. And I know that when my teacher begins a sentence that way, that long time I've wanted to tell you something, he's about to punch me, he's about to to use my arm in a way that I punch myself in the face, where I'm actually punching myself. It's hard to describe, but trust me, this man has the ability to clobber. But he does it in a very gentle, friendly, non-aggressive way, and it's just something that you can't help but be a little bit shaken by. So I know that when he starts a sentence this way, Ernest, long time I've wanted to tell you, that he's about to tell me a little bit about my conditioned mind. He's going to tell me a way that I'm still plugged into the matrix, and I'm not seeing it. And that's okay. There are some times where we're so used to things being normal, that we don't really see that this is a conditioned behavior that is being dictated by society and a standard that we may not necessarily agree with or have thought through. So he wanted to talk to me about something that is on his mind. And the subject was trust. So again, this is intimate time with me and my teacher, and this makes me vulnerable to this group, and this makes me vulnerable in general. That's why typically I don't show these types of videos on my personal Facebook page. Still thirsty. So we're outside, and he says, Ernest, long time I've wanted to tell you this. But when you talk to me about trust, and we're in a working relationship, we're running this restaurant, and we often use this word trust. So he said, when you use this word trust, what you're saying is not trust. It is the socially conditioned idea of trust that has been drilled into your mind since the day you were born. And of course, being who I am, socially conditioned in a lot of ways, I tensed up. And I'm like, well, you motherfucker, like, who are you to say this to me? Like I get it, you're my teacher, everything you say ends up being golden, but, my idea of trust, everything we've been talking about all this time is somehow flawed. And so he proceeded to tell me what he thought trust was. And I think this is a really important message for people who are trying to understand the law of attraction. You are trying to understand how to find quality in your life. You're trying to find out how to love more deeply and have what you believe that you honestly deserve, and that I honestly believe that you deserve. We all just want quality, and I can truly understand that. So my teacher says, long time I've wanted to tell you this, but your idea of trust is not right. It's flawed. And it's not how I see things, and I just want to make this clear to you, and if this someday makes sense to you, that's great. I won't talk about it again. And then he proceeded to talk to me about a general. So this is Chinese history that we're talking about, and Chinese philosophy, because China has a long history of warfare, and one way that they would share their 10,000-year-old history is through stories about things that are interesting. And we can see this in our modern society with all of the violence and things that, war is an interesting thing to people. Fighting and battle is an interesting thing to people. So that's why some of these stories include war analogies. So just a little bit of background on why it would be that way. 3-mile walk, I'm sorry, I get thirsty. So he told me that when I talk about trust, it's essentially you follow me. And I'm like, that makes sense, right? If you trust me, you'll follow me. And he said, no, that is an attempt to control. You don't want to have a relationship with me. What is your version of trust in this situation? Your version of trust is to close my eyes and put my hand on your belt and just follow you into the darkness. And he said, that's not trust. He said, that is you want to control me in some way and take me in a way that is essentially only following your mind. Bud Man's here, so I don't think he needs a check. He'll trust me to pay him later. So he said that your version of trust is essentially a relationship where you follow me, and it's like a blind idea, like a blind trust. And he said that's not what we're talking about. When we talk about trust in the universe, we're not talking about I'm just going to imagine things and everything's going to turn out fine. This is trust. and I think this is the idea that I had, and it wasn't working for me. And he was seeing me struggle with this idea of trust, and he saw that I wasn't applying these principles correctly, and he saw that I was being socially conditioned into thinking that trust was just following the leader, and he wanted to help me. So he was approaching me out of love. And I'm not going to be like, whoa, bad vibes, guy, get out of my experience. No, he loves me, and he knows that I love him deeply, and he wanted to share with me something that he thought would genuinely help. So this is what he told me trust is. He said, imagine trust like a battle. And again, this is the war analogy because it's Chinese philosophy. But imagine that trust is like a battle. And if you watched Game of Thrones recently, don't imagine it like that battle because that's some vivid shit. So imagine it kind of like a general battle, not too vivid. keep it simple. And we have a lot of people around us. We're vastly outnumbered. Maybe there's 5 people to our 1. And we want to trust each other in this battle. What does that mean? Does that mean follow me? Like, woohoo, let's go, follow me. Or does it mean what my teacher told me? And he said that trust is back to back. He said that we put our back to back, and I imagine this with my most favorite weapon. So, I have, I practice a Chinese Kung Fu, and there are weapons involved. So, I'm a kid at heart, so I'm imagining my weapon, and I'm like, okay, I'm in your analogy, man, I see it. And he said that trust is, I have my 180 degrees of vision, and this is what I'm responsible for. I'm responsible for this 180 degrees of vision, and my teacher has my back, and he's responsible for that 180 degrees of vision. And in this battle, if we move a certain way, we can cover 360 degrees. We can cover all angles of the battle, and we stand a really good chance of success in doing a good job in this battle. So we're back to back. I'm covering my 180 degrees of vision, and I trust that my teacher has my back in this battle, and that he is covering my back 180 degrees of vision. So oh, thank you. I appreciate it. So I'll just finish the story real fast. So we're back to back, and I have my 180 degrees of vision. He has his 180 degrees of vision. He trusts me. He doesn't need to worry about anything behind him. Just all of the beautiful, well, this is war, so I guess I can't use beautiful like I would normally use it. So in a lot of ways, most ways, war is absolutely ugly and terrible. So, but I see my 180 degrees of vision. He sees his 180 degrees of vision. We're circling, and we trust each other. And this analogy is transferable to law of attraction. And so what I mean is that we're talking about trusting the universe. So the universe has our back. But what does that mean? Does that mean that we just need to follow it, or it should follow us? No, it means that we work in tandem. I know that there are things that I can't control that are going on somewhat in the background. And people have the tendency to worry about what's going on back here in the background instead of, this wonderful life that's unfolding in front of us. This is what we need to focus on, is all of this beauty in front of us. If you spend too much time dwelling on yourself and your lack, that's all you're going to have in your experience. But there's all of this, fucking amazingness out here, and I don't need to worry about back there because the universe has my back. And in this analogy, it's basically me having my own back because I am the universe. I am the I am, and this is just a part of my true and whole self. So in this analogy, we're in war, and we're trusting each other, and we know that we have each other's back, and that's how the universe can have your back. So this was a teaching that I needed at that time because I was grossly misunderstanding what trust was, and it was from a social condition perspective. So I'll share just another thing real fast, and then I'll move out. But I want to offer some of the things that I have learned to help people because my teacher has helped me, and I have a specific thing that I do. In my Liam Neeson voice, I have a very particular set of skills, And this set of skills is all I have to offer. And, there's so many other things, so many other ways, but, I only have to offer what I have to offer, and that's some of my experience, and that's some of my particular methods and techniques. So we really need to think about what trust is, and this is still a lesson that I'm thinking about, obviously, because this came from my teacher. This is my Kung Fu teacher who has been studying for his whole life in this type of philosophy. He is from China. He only moved here recently. He's an American citizen now and business owner and owns his own school, and he's manifesting a lot of health and wellness in everybody's life. And, this guy is the embodiment of peace, and just to be in his presence, I know that we have an energetic connection with one another. I see people sharing in this group, and it just fills me with love. There is so many people in this group who have helped me understand things in a different way. I had a lot of resistance with law of attraction because some of the Buddhist teachings, again, focus on not desiring. So I had a lot of questions with that. And some of the people in this group, as I am helping them, they are helping me. This is trust. This is trust. It's not, okay, so you have an issue, you may be emotionally compromised, I want you to follow me. I want you to do what I do, say what I say, and just, trust me, I can help you. No, this is not a genuine, authentic exchange between two human beings. If I want to work with somebody and I want to offer advice, I'm equally open to what you beautiful people have to say to me. I must keep some empty space so that I can also be filled with knowledge. So this is what I mean by energetic exchange, and this is what I mean about sharing and not just taking or not just giving. It's about how we interact with one another. And my teacher taught me, I want to help teach whoever can find benefit. And this is a perpetual thing that starts to happen. So I'll just give you a quick example, and then I'll let you guys go. But this is an example of perpetuation and how we can help each other and we grow stronger together and we can uplift each other. And this is also something that has been addressed in this group. Why do people come here with their problems? Why do people come here with negativity? And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, I have had moments where I've been on my fucking knees. Like, is this life? Is this what I'm supposed to be experiencing? This is shit. Like, so how can I say that them expressing themselves is a bad thing? It's not a bad thing. It's we're perpetuating. We're helping one another. We're admitting the vanity of our false distinctions, and we're lifting one another up. And I'm going to give you an example of this this principle in action. So we have this thing that we call pay it forward. So there was a time when our restaurant wasn't doing well financially, and I wanted to give because I'm a giving person. I like to give love. I like to give insight. I like to give anything I can without forcing or prescribing behavior, because that's a more authentic relationship. I don't believe in forcing my opinions on anybody. So we're at the restaurant. We're having a downtime. I'm having trouble giving because I don't have enough money to give. I need to take care of my employees. So we come up with this idea, and we call it pay it forward. So this is an example of perpetuating giving, trusting one another, and working together. And this is what trust really is. And this is a way that you can find guidance in somebody else, but also find guidance in yourself, your higher universal self that also has your back. So we have the Pay It Forward program, and basically what customers do is when they come in, they eat, they enjoy their food, they enjoy the service. We've had employees that have been here for years, and they buy a heart. And on the heart, I don't know if you can see it, sorry, but on the heart, they get to write a food item, and they purchase this food item for a future person, somebody that is down on their luck, somebody who has been having financial difficulties or some sort of family disaster, or they're homeless, or they just need something. Even people who we know don't really need it, we just give it to them, because if they're willing to lie, well, they also need our help, right? And then this wall, we're starting to accumulate all of the hearts that have been redeemed. So these are all the customers who are coming in, and they are, or the people who come in who need help. They come in and, they get a heart off of this wall, and then They fill out the item, and then, they come in and they get their food, and the restaurant gives them a drink and helps to complete the meal. And, the restaurant gave a little bit, the people gave a little bit, and, they write thank you on the heart. So that encourages the customers to also give. So this isn't, give me your money, I'm going to go give it to a trust fund or give it to somebody. This is the perpetual giving. This is us working together. This is, and the person who manifested their car, through the advice that we were talking about yesterday, is texting me because I think she's really excited to tell me about it. So I'm going to get off here real quick because she's an amazing person, and I really can't wait to hear her story. But this is trust, and this is how you can better focus your understanding of trust and universal trust, because when we talk about the universe, we're really just talking about ourselves. Right now, we are the universe in this particular form, and we're only observing ourselves, our intelligent, creative self. And, we can't do anything but create. Consciously creating now, that's the interesting thing that we love with law of attraction, is being aware of what we're creating and how we create it. So when we talk about trust, it's not you follow me. It's not I am your guru, because you don't need a guru. You are your own guru. Everything that you have ever needed to know is already inside you. There are no fucking secrets. Anybody who's telling you that there's all these ancient secrets, they're just trying to take your money. They're trying to take advantage of you. It's wonderful to exchange money or something for their time and their expertise and the things that they have to offer. I understand this service, and it's valuable to so many people. But there are also, I have observed, individuals who want you to blindly follow them and pay thousands of dollars for 90-minute sessions. And they want to tell you that there's these secrets to life and that there's these hidden vast treasures that only they know. And that's bullshit. And I'm going to call these people out if I ever see it, or if they ever come at me directly with it, because I don't enjoy that type of thing. It's not true. I don't appreciate people going around and spreading what I firmly believe through my experience to be complete falsehoods. You know everything that you need to know. You are everything. We are the same. And everything that I know, you already know. Maybe I can help remind some people, and maybe I can help people so that they don't forget by, continuing to drive certain messages. And I really appreciate this space. I really appreciate being able to share. I'm not asking anything from any one of you. I don't want to control anybody or, share my mind because I want to change other people's minds. I just believe, also the universe was telling me today, the woman who was thinking my name as she was having chest pains and falling on the ground. People are telling me, the universe is telling me that I genuinely have a healing art and a lot of love and a healing mind to share. And as much as I can, I want to share that with as many people who find interest in what I do and what I have to offer. So I hope you enjoyed this little message about trust. I really trust a lot of people that I've met in this group. I'm learning from you. You are helping me grow in ways that I can't even understand right now. I'll understand it much later, I'm sure. But you know who you are, and there are several people, in fact, who are really, by me offering them some of my insight, I'm learning about myself, and this is how. Every sincere student goes through this time where teaching is also a part of their learning. So thank you very much for giving me a space to feel like I'm not being judged. That's really important to everybody. We want to feel like we have a group that we can trust, and that you're not trying to take from me. You're trying to protect my back, and I'm trying to protect your back, and we can work together, and we can navigate through this shitstorm, and we can find what it is that we're looking for, that quality, that spark and that magic to life that makes us, wake up and get out of bed and just be like, fucking right, like, I don't have anything to do today, but I'm awake and I have this breath, so again, thank you for letting me share this message. Hope to talk to you guys again soon.